Forum. Please join me to pledge for the pledge and prayer.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We kind of really Father, thank you for this wonderful day, and thank you for all the blessings bestowed upon us, and pray. Like Spirit be with us and all that we do and say. We ask to be with those that are sick and afflicted, those that are mourning. We thank you for all that you do for us. We say this in the name of the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Okay, agenda, we do have an addition that right after public comment on the update on Griffey Tower, a collection of intelligent people are here to talk about that today. Any other additions? I'll entertain a motion on the agenda.
Mr. Chairman, move to approve the agenda with change.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion's carried. Minutes?
Motion to approve the minutes.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The motion's carried. We have stacked bills.
Motion to approve the bills.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion is carried. Acceptance, so we have Title 25.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. We have two plans today. Make a motion to pay Cloud Peak Counseling Center in the amount of $5,550. And Wyoming Behavioral Institute in the amount of $3,770, Mr. Chairman. Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? That motion is carried. Signature file.
Chairman, we have some to put a motion on. The first one is move to approve a grant award agreement with Wyoming Office of Homeland Security in the amount of $4,000 for election security.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed? Motion's carried.
Next, move to approve grant contract number 257329 with the Wyoming Department of Health, Public Health Division in the amount of $112,000 for public health emergency preparedness and response capabilities.
Second.
Second, and any discussion?
Mr. Chairman, is this the PHEP program that Tracy Phelps ran?
This is. This.
For the renewal grant?
There it is, that was like 2 hours ago.
9 years.
Mr. Chairman, the only reason I ask is I believe she's gonna be in and talking about that position today, so I don't know if you wanna wait on that one.
Is it related to this contract? This seems like a, okay, well, you okay
Just
with
make sure that
tabling it?
that's still the direction they want
Is
to
the
go.
motion and the second okay with tabling this until she comes in?
Yes.
Michelle's questions for her.
Okay, let's do that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Next one is the SFY 2027-28 Community Prevention Grant. And move to approve the SFY 2027-28 Community Grant point of contact information with the Wyoming Department of Health.
Have a second?
Second.
And discuss.
Chairman, seems like the point of contact first will be with Tana Groomsmith. Just for that information.
Okay, any other questions or discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion's carried.
Next one is, Chairman, next one is approach access application with the Fremont County Transportation permit ID number 2025-031A. This would be for address 51 Lower North Fork Road. Move to approve approach access application 2025-031A for Lower Norfolk Road from Corel Incorporated.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion is carried.
Next one, Chairman, is the Fremont County Board Cut Parallel Public Utilities Right of Way Easement Application. And this would be for property address near Honor Farm Prison on Honor Farm Road and Canal. Move to approve right of way easement application 2025-1722U for Honor Farm Road and Canal from Robin and Tower.
Second.
Any discussion? All those
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
this plan coming in today, talk about that one.
about the bore cut?
Yeah, about
The access.
oh, that's a bore cut.
This is the access one. I think there's an,
access. I'm just curious about the, if that road ever needed to be widened, will we need that right away?
they're not on the agenda today, Commissioner, we've got. Oh, Billy, I'm sorry, Billy's coming in for personnel, so you want to bring that up
Yeah,
during the
I'm
personnel
just curious.
conversation? I don't think that's related to this,
Okay,
right? This is,
Yeah. but if Steve's coming in, we can.
Yeah.
Well, ask him that.
right, we have a motion and a
At
second.
some point, that's probably gonna be widened and fixed, I imagine, so,
I don't think that affects the access today,
No.
okay,
as far as I would know, so,
okay.
any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, motion's carried. Feel free to bring that up a little bit.
Okay.
Next one will, Chairman, will table till 10 o'clock is with the stages program.
Okay,
That one.
And records of proceeding.
thank you. Priority mail.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, first we have a letter from Chris Rocky asking for follow-up on public comment and transparency, noted we wanted discussion.
I think I'll wait for Larry on that one.
I think
To-
take it
to
under
schedule
advisement
him
for night, right
and,
now.
Larry did talk about scheduling him later, so,
Okay,
let's give it Larry.
that'd be
See if we
fine.
can put that on the agenda.
The next one is TCI owner Justin Hunter update.
On the phones.
Yes,
Oh, there you go.
it's a it's TCI experience, and there's just talked about the phone, what the problems were on it. So everybody knows. And then Renee Suda sent a letter about her opinion on the 3/4 tax and hospital funding. So, and then next one is NACO survey. And then a monthly review from the clerk's office, clerk of district court, and the commissioners.
Julie, has Larry filled out surveys like that from NACO in the past, or have you ever seen something like that come through? It said it's NACO, I just.
Yes, I don't know that anybody answers
Oh.
those. I look at them sometimes, I'm busy right now.
Would you take a look at it and then you and I can figure out what who.
And I also think that they send it out in our email. We've seen something like this on the email
Yeah,
sent to us as well.
right, I looked at it online, so.
Okay.
Okay,
I mean,
Good.
I'm gonna send that to me again. I just barely got my email completely back last
how about
week,
that,
so-
me too. So you can nag me again, public. And I might respond this time. Feel guilty, but geez, what are you gonna do? All right, All right, public comment.
Mr. Chairman, we do not have, our Vice Chairman, we do not have any public comment, but I do have some questions for you, if we could use this time for that.
Okay,
So, we've come to a place in our IT where, we probably need to make some rules. So, we have people ordering their own, because they don't know what to do, but they ordered their own printer, for example. Did not contact IT, then wanted them to fix it when it wouldn't work. And it doesn't work because of what we have and what they bought. So,
okay.
and then I get the bill, because I've been, between Amos and I've been the one signing on for these. So they said, well, what do we do with these things? And I said, well, most of the things I thought they went through IT, that IT would pay for them. Well, now I'm not going to approve that one because it was not something that they talked to IT about. So I was thinking of drafting just something for your approval that just says something to the effect of you cannot order your own stuff unless you're going to not expect IT to fix it or at least ask them that it's gonna fit, and then you pay it for yourself. I mean, it's kind of like copiers. We're all on our own now, and so like I had to pay an $800 repair that I don't have in my budget for my copier. So I think there's some of those things that I'm struggling still with, how to handle them. And this one's not going to break the bank and it's public health's, bill, but I just think we better probably kind of get the lines of communication up with that.
So we recently went through a procurement policy. We don't have anything in there, it talks about department or thought authorizations.
These are small, they're like $100, $200
Right,
printers.
right.
I'm just thinking that we're struggling to get things to work in IT. Why
Yeah.
would we do that without asking our IT? So I'm thinking that they should be requesting assistance from our IT before they just order stuff. That's my first thought. I would never do that without asking.
Commissioner?
Chairman, so in any procurement regulations guideline, it usually will state that because of the governmental entity or the business entity in the issue of keeping procurement and keeping process of understanding what is bought and what's not bought in the issue of legality and non-legality, it would be simple to say items cannot be bought on your own, but need to be processed through a procurement process to where items are labeled, they're numbered, and we know exactly what we have. So if anybody's buying things on their own, we as a government don't know about that item, especially if it's being used for governmental purpose. So in that should be a violation of any procurement guidelines. Because in that, if someone's to say, well, what items do you have in the sense of any type of audit? And we say, we don't know because people are buying things on their own. That is a red flag in any case of procurement in the sense of supply or issue of items owned by a government entity or even a business entity. I've never been within any organization that doesn't do that in a sense. Every item that is used, except for items of office supplies, but even office supplies in some sense are processed through property supply. In that, I would immediately stop that process of happening again and say that cannot occur again. And then the issue of the county paying for outside repair also cannot happen. If the person bought it on their own, then they need to repair, but then also they don't need to be bringing it, I guess, back to work, meaning it's theirs. They keep it at home. And then we have to find a way to buy those items through our own way of procurement.
Sounds like we need to circle around this topic. offline.
FYI, Mr. Chairman, so excuse me, on page 5 of our procurement policy, it talks about types of purchases that all of us can do, which is all these things. And then it says purchase authority. Elected officials, department heads, and some boards have the responsibility and authority to procure services and purchase goods that make our county government work for the people of Fremont County. However, the final authority on purchases and procurement rests with you. If you're going to make us come to you for every single purchase, then I don't think that's necessary. But we do talk about the vouchering system and what the requirements are. And we also have a page on page 10, which says anything under $10,000 is up to us as elected officials or department heads to make our stuff run. And we still have to go through an entire vouchering process, which is included in here. So I believe that their purchase was fine. I just don't think the method of us not checking in with, I mean, I buy let me give you another example. I'm super hot because the air conditioning wasn't working, so I go buy a window mounted, which I really wanted to do really bad a couple of days, and put it in my window, but I don't talk to John and I blow up something. That's not right. I should be checking in with the departments who have those authorities. So I'm just wondering if there's a way to put up, we're working on policies, maybe a policy that says, hey, if it's something that's not related to your office specifically that you're wanting to purchase, such as building maintenance things, IT, there's probably a number of things that are probably under that list.
Security.
Would you please contact the following departments for assistance with that so that you're not, I mean, this is not helping them because it's not working and we can't make it work because it doesn't work with our stuff. So I think it's just a helpful thing to not waste county money when we have people who do that for a living. Just a thought.
Sure.
Commissioner.
So, but if individuals are buying their own printer and then they leave, then the next person comes in and they don't have a printer. I think all that should be centralized, so where a person who comes in has the ability to print without having to worry about buying their own printer. I don't know if this.
Yes, Commissioner Wilson.
I'm more concerned about, are they using taxpayer money? Buy that copier. Turn it in as a voucher. On their account, are they purchasing their own
It's for the
personal?
office. No, it's for the office.
Because they're
They
buying
needed a
it
print.
through with,
They went and bought it themselves because we really don't have a go-to person besides Amos, who's working under a couple people, you
And
and a company.
we're still recruiting for that position, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and we
Until
can
that
talk
time.
about that as well.
Okay.
What do we want in IT, throughout the Fremont County?
So who should take the lead and who should be involved to kind of look at a draft policy for us,
For,
for this?
For
type of
this?
thing, for building,
I'd
for
be
IT, for
I'd be
security.
happy to use our procurement policy to
Okay.
draft something that just basically says
Right.
some of that stuff and let you review it.
okay,
I don't want our one guy who's here or our company who's
Yeah.
here having to fix things that doesn't make sense.
Yep.
So I think is the biggest thing is just making, and like I said, there's a wide variety that maybe I'm not even thinking of who should be included
Commissioner
in that
Thomas,
list.
do you want to work with Julie on, I'm just looking at a draft and
Okay, I'll send it.
pulling something together? Especially in the case where we don't have a director of IT in-house and until that time, or, put together a pathway. But I think the buildings and security and, we've encountered this before where the sheriff's department is off, doing things and it affects vehicle maintenance in terms of consistency. So we do have some of that in there. But anyway, if you guys would do that, that would be great. Anything else, Julie?
Nope, that's it.
Okay. All right, we have to get an update on Griffey Tower. For those of you that are involved in that. Please introduce yourselves.
Good morning, Commissioners. Heather Holbert, I'm the Assistant Coordinator for Fremont County Emergency Management. And I'm Lindsay Lowry, I'm the Director of the 911 Efficiency. So I'll keep the background as brief as possible, but a couple of weeks ago, my supervisor, Coordinator Mylan Vinich, headed up to the Griffey Hill site because we have a generator up there that was purchased through Homeland Security grant money to keep continuity of operations with the microwave tower, multiple paging systems. that all run through that Griffey Hill site. When he was there, he realized that there were some problems. In particular, it looked like the air conditioning that was supposed to be keeping what we thought was all in that building did not seem to be operating. So as we started to kind of pull that thread, what we discovered is that only one of the microwave dishes, the one that services the South Federal location, had actually been moved to the new building. And everything else remained in the old building. And there was some miscommunication that I'm sure of. I don't really know what else might have happened. I don't think anybody necessarily does. But we're at a point where what we want to make sure gets done now is that the antennas get moved to the new site and that we get the two microwave components that we've already purchased from Comtech, that we get those properly installed on the tower there at Griffey. So we have a quote that is already, we're under and we've been paying on to complete that microwave work. And then we have received two new quotes to complete the rest of the project, moving the antennas and the switches and everything else within the building over. That would involve some downtime, obviously, with the dispatch center. The dispatch center has actually been the primary, I guess, call it vouchering agency. They've been paying the bills or working the contracts on these previously. So that's why they're obviously very engaged in this. Obviously, it will take their paging systems down for a period of time as they go to make those transitions, along with the internet that surface through the microwave.
So how long are we looking at on a transition?
So I will note that we do have Carl Freeman, who's our contact representative. When I spoke to him earlier, his thought was it would probably be 6 to 8 hours that we could save by doing the new antennas. I would defer to Carl on what he thinks those hours look like for each of if we were to do a remove and reinstall, what our total downtime would be versus new antennas. But the difference would be 6 to 8 hours between the two.
So is that reflected in the quotes that we have?
Yes, it doesn't reflect the downtime. It just simply reflects, one is to purchase new antennas, install them, and then move the equipment that's inside the building, the switches, and the supporting equipment over. And then one would be to pull them off the current towers and then put them back up.
So while we're in this transition, what's the impact?
I think that's probably a better question to come from Lindsay.
What would take down our paging, self paging, fire, EMS, take that down, take down our internet. Carl did say that we could do this on a weekend
Okay,
likely, which would be less impact to the public, than, busy hours Monday through Friday, but it would take down the internet, it would take down our CAD system, how we.
and do you have workaround?
Do we have what?
Workarounds?
Paper.
Okay, okay,
Paper,
okay,
yeah.
all right. When do you estimate this will be complete?
Did you see October?
Somebody commit.
He said October.
Introduce yourself, please.
Mr. Commissioner Carl Freeman, representing Tech Two-Way Radio Service Provider. Tentatively, we have scheduled the first week of October to finalize this project.
Okay. Any other questions, Commissioner?
Commissioner,
Commissioner Fabricio?
yeah, where's our units stationed at? Where they at? I haven't seen them, so that's why I'm wondering where they're at.
Mr. Chairman, sir, are you referring to the physical equipment that?
Yeah,
physical equipment?
where's it located?
It's located in our, most of it's located in a shop either in Casper, and some of it's located in the shop here in Lander already.
Oh, okay,
But the equipment has been purchased and paid for.
okay, good.
Any other questions?
And is that, Mr., does that include the antennas, or do you have to purchase extra antennas now?
This equipment that I'm referring to now, sir, is the microwave equipment. It would be the external round dishes you see on the outside of the tower. And those associated radios.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you, Mr.
Any other questions? Any other information you wanna share?
Kind of getting whispered in my ear that I may have forgotten, Mr. Chair, is that with this, obviously, the the funding for the initial, contract and quote has already been allocated, I believe, through ARPA funds. Our most recent update was indicated there was $16,000 remaining that had been allocated.
Okay.
There's 13,000 remaining on the original quote. The two new quotes that we received, the one that would, result in new antennas going up on the site is for $13,489.75. And if we were to remove and then reinstall the existing antennas, that would reduce the quote to $8,001.75. But obviously that does come with the additional lag time and those things that we've discussed.
So you
already.
need some additional funding.
So yeah,
to
so we need to
complete this
identify
project.
some additional funding to complete this.
You understand the ARPA funds have to be spent this year.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what are you recommending? Anybody recommending? And how much do you need? What's the bag? You know, I've heard a bunch of numbers there. What's the balance that you need approval for?
So that, Commissioner, that would depend on whether the decision was to purchase the new antennas and install them, or to just do the removal and and reinstallation. $27,000 would be the remaining balance if we needed to do, if we did the new antennas. Obviously, there's 16 that's already been allocated, which would leave us with approximately 11,000.
So you're our expert. So what is the recommendation? Move, reinstall, or buy new antennas? What do you want to do?
I would say buying new antennas, you're gonna keep your downtime less.
Why don't you guys write up a proposal here so we can look at the impacts and talk about the funding that we would need based on the choices, but kind of give us a little bit of a business analysis that this is why we think this direction is needed. Okay,
Absolutely. Thank
all
you.
right,
Commissioner.
and yeah,
Mr. Chairman, so I gave him kind of I was at the fair calling on this, so I kind of back and forth. So what I have looked at for total ISS money that's left over, it can be used for this. So
Okay.
22,635.
Oh.
And then whatever that first number is, we just pay with ARPA, and then whatever's left over, if we want to put some, authorization in LATC, that would be probably what I would suggest.
Yeah.
We use up the money, then we move over and we
Yeah.
use the rest of it in
we
LATC.
just
would
need
be
that
my
all spelled out.
recommendation.
So get that with Julie, come back with your recommendation so we can see clearly what we're doing, where we have to get the funds for. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Chairman
All
Jones.
right. We do have a public hearing, on a petition to vacate a portion of Pleasant Drive. Steve?
Good morning, commissioners, the Bauman County Planning. This morning is the final portion of a petition that was filed to vacate a portion of Pleasant Drive within the Spencer Home Site subdivision. If you look at the back of the viewer's report that I'm hoping you all have. At any rate, what happened was, it appears as though when they built the road on the southern end of Pleasant Drive, I think probably the truck driver who was dumping gravel at the time built the road diametrically opposed to where it should be. So it is shifted 50 feet to the east, or to the east of where it was intended to be. Over time, because there were no satellite photographs and GPS and whatnot, over time, people put their homes on what they believed their lots were based on where the road was rather than where the road had been platted. And we have homes built within the publicly dedicated right of way. The process, as a consequence of that, the owners of those lots are in the process right now of replatting all of the lots within the subdivision that are affected by this to show where the road really is today. And once that's complete, where the old road was needs to be vacated so that those people who have homes built on it don't have any kind of jeopardy or conditions placed on their title at any time in the future, because their home is built within a publicly dedicated right of way and somebody could request them to move their home out of the way. So as a part of that, they have petitioned ahead of time to vacate this section of road they filed the necessary petition with the clerk. It was brought before this body to review and begin the process of the 45-day comment period. I was assigned to be the viewer of that. I wrote a viewer's document that the result of which suggests that I think it's a good idea to go ahead and do this vacation contingent on the successful completion of the replatting of those lots within the subdivision. I was expecting to bring that replat to you today for approval, but we lacked a quorum at the planning commission meeting last month. So we have a special meeting coming up next Thursday to handle this. So I would expect sometime following that to come to the commissioner with the final plat. And at that time, then we would file the resolution, or you would sign the resolution, which would vacate this portion of the road.
And if we had any public comments on this?
I have not received any public comments. Eva, have you received anything? Is there anyone in the audience today?
All right, anybody object to us reviewing this when all the flats are complete?
Mr. Chairman, I guess I would suggest that we go ahead as recommend that contingent on the approval, your approval of the replat of the subdivision. That way we can have Emma write up a resolution. So at the day when we bring it to you, all of that is complete and we can file it all at one time.
Mr. Chairman. On the road itself, then, Steve, Mr. Will. Okay, Steve. If they're in the right of way already to make it work with the subdivision, we still have enough room to make the road the width it needs to be, so that it's.
Yeah, all of it fits because they just built it in the wrong spot.
Okay, so we still have enough, the proper width of the road.
Yep.
For the subdivision. And if we ever rebuilt Honor Farm Road down there.
Has nothing to do with it. It's the southern end. It has nothing to do with
Completely
it.
off of it, so we don't have to worry about that at all.
Not at all. No.
Okay, real good. That's what I was concerned about. It's in the future, that rebuild.
Right, entertain a motion from anybody on this?
Motion to approve this recommendation by Steve.
So vacation of the portion of the publicly dedicated road known as Pleasant Drive.
Yeah.
Just to add insert the language. Okay, and do we have a second?
Second,
I'll second.
second out here.
I thought you made the motion.
Yeah,
I made the motion.
Okay.
Second.
All right, any discussion? Contingent on, make sure we're saying contingent on the replat of those properties. Okay, any other discussion? All those in favor say aye. All those opposed? Motion is carried.
Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. Sheriff Ryan Lee, quarterly update.
Cool down though.
yeah.
Yes, sir.
Old story at the start while she's handing those out. Mr. Chairman, Commission, good morning. I have a quarterly report for you that encompasses probably the last 93 days here in Fremont County. Statistically, with our detention center, our current inmate population as of yesterday morning was 139 prisoners. All 139 were in custody. That number includes 27 who were booked in over the weekend. As of yesterday, we had 87 men, 47 women, and we had 5 juveniles in custody yesterday. Nobody's out of the facility at the state hospital or any other counties or anything like that. Bookings in the last 93 days, 786 people were brought through the facility. Those included 402 from the Riverton Police Department, 231 from my agency, 111 from the Lander Police Department, 20 from Wyoming Highway Patrol. We had 12 federal holds with the U.S. Marshal Service. The Shoshone Police Department brought in 9 prisoners in that 93-day period, and the DuBois Police Department brought us 1. Currently, we only have 34 inmates sentenced. That's 21 men and 13 women. Our pre-adjudicated inmates, a total of 105 as of yesterday. With staffing in our detention center, currently I have openings for 3 deputy sheriffs with nobody in background at this time. 1 civilian controller with 1 in background, and 1 cook with 1 in background. Mr. Chairman, I would also add that we have a new nurse on staff as well.
Very good.
The budgets in all 4 of my divisions here, I'm not going to comment on due to the fact it's only 1 month into the fiscal year. And obviously, hopefully, we're not seeing any abnormalities as of right now. So we'll just keep going here. With the dispatch center, we're currently down 3 dispatchers with 2 in background. Our call load since May 4th that included 4,524 911 calls. And the total calls dispatched out of the facility in those 93 days, well, since May 4th, 3,587 law enforcement calls, 2,087 EMS calls, and 438 fire calls. Mr. Chairman, as I've brought up in the past, commissioners, with the server update and the Spillman update that we've been looking forward to, we had it was either 5 or 7 year lease through Motorola. That final payment, I believe it was a 5-year lease. That final payment was made last month, and we're currently in negotiations with Motorola, or have been in negotiations with Motorola to again enter into another lease option to upgrade both the servers and the Spillman system. With that, we've been working in conjunction with Riverton Police Department on the server upgrades, and both the RPD and Sheriff's Office IT personnel are working on getting those upgrades complete. Our enforcement division.
I have a question,
Yes, sir.
Sheriff. Is that all encompassing of the recommendations that were made from the CARE and after our incident? So there was a series of recommendations that we needed to do. Is that all of them? Are we consistent with what the those recommendations were?
Mr. Sheriff. He's been working directly on this project, so I'll let him answer. Thank you.
So yes, this upgrade will encompass all of the recommendations that they made concerning that aspect. There were multiple aspects, so this is only one portion of the total system.
Do you think you could give us at some future date, probably not too far out, some sort of picture of all those recommendations and where we are against that for all the different aspects that those recommendations were made, just to give us some visibility? We do get questions about that.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, that would be great. So within a month, 2 weeks, 30 minutes.
Yeah, I think it's gonna go.
Okay, be great.
Get an idea from the IT staff where we're
Look
at.
for you in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Continuing, into our enforcement divisions, I'm currently down with 1 deputy sheriff in Riverton and 1 deputy sheriff in Lander. We're currently attempting to either laterally move somebody or hire at this time for those 2 positions. This total this year for call to service as of yesterday morning was 4,345 calls. The sheriff's canines, I mentioned this at my previous report, but they're hitting the street hard and they're doing an excellent job. Lieutenant Riemann is going to be getting on your schedule here very soon. I think he was going to try to keep for the 25th of this month. He would like to come in and visit with you about the opioid grant, and then I believe some of the commissioners expressed a desire to meet the canines, but he would like to also put on a short demonstration of their abilities as well for the commission on that day.
Great.
Can we pick somebody to attack or? Some of our political enemies, some of
They
our.
Sorry,
Sorry.
geared around
Little
tracking and obviously locating.
We would have taser demonstration.
Well, we can set one of those up for sure. We were successful in using one of the canines and apprehending a convicted escape felon from the Wyoming Honor Farm here within the last month. That K-9 was able to safely extract this person without anybody getting injured, including any law enforcement officers or the suspect himself. Mr. Chairman, with respect to our search and rescue divisions, we've only had one mission this fiscal year compared to 6 this time last fiscal year. And with the search and rescue, I would bring up that we were awarded our reimbursement from the Wyoming Search and Rescue Council for our mission costs last year in the amount of $88,116, which I do believe included quite a bit of flight time. With that, Mr. Chairman, that's my report to you this morning.
Okay. I just looked at the calendar. Mike, the next meeting, give you an extra week, be the 25th. So if we could put Mike on the schedule for that, along with Kevin Reeman, then we can get those updates on that calendar.
Perfect.
Any other questions, commissioners?
Chairman.
Commissioner.
And this also reflects what Julie can answer also, but when you, during budget time, when you came in, we took care of most of your departments, but I'm still wondering if dispatch got their COLA.
Mr. Chairman.
So I didn't realize, I should have looked at the agenda better. I did talk to the communications director and mentioned that during our budgeting that you had mentioned you hadn't done anything for dispatch. And I did mention to her that we had had the conversation at the table that if you wanted to come back with updates for them now, since we didn't do it across the board, that you certainly could do that as part of the SOC adjustments. I just hadn't seen you yet, and you walked in today, and anyway, I told your communications director the same thing, so.
Okay, I will put that on my schedule.
That'd be great.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Good, thank you, Commissioner. Any other questions, discussion here?
Yeah. Sure. You've given a report a few months ago about, well, the cost on what it is for search and rescue and helicopters and such that we use. But you have to call in, ask to use, and the flight cost on that, did that go up even more since you gave, that's been like 3 or 4 months ago, I guess.
Those costs are erased with this latest reimbursement from the Wyoming State Search and Rescue Council.
Okay.
So those have been absorbed by the state, and Fremont County has been reimbursed for the cost of those flight services. And that also includes additional expenditures for other missions that occurred throughout that part of the fiscal year.
Okay, I know that they went up quite a bit per hour.
Right.
Okay. Any other questions? Yeah, Commissioner.
Mr. Chairman, yeah, I've got play through dogs a little bit, go up and see how they work. Tell you what, that was funny, also got 1,000 pills of fentanyl off the street already. Pound of meth off the street already, saved lives already. It's amazing. And I think that's a good program. I watch those dogs work. Tell you what, they put little tiny tags on a vehicle. Those dogs were over there, made a circle around that, and they laid it down right where that was at. It was amazing.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's great.
thank you. Thank you, Commissioner. Mr. Chairman. Also, he'll be giving you some statistical information on the work that those 2 K9s have been doing in the poundage and everything.
That'd be great.
Great to hear. Thank you, Commissioner. Thank you, Sheriff. and Sheriff.
Thank you.
All right. Museum Director Scott Getz, update and personnel.
Good morning. Start with the personnel. We got our collections manager resigned at the Du Bois Museum, so looking to refill that position at the same salary as previous, $38,780 annually.
Any questions for Director Getz? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve the rehiring or hiring of the full-time benefit position of collection manager for the Du Bois Museum at the salary of $38,780.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. All those opposed? Motion's carried. Scott?
Okay, I believe you should have a annual report in your packet. I'm not gonna go through the whole thing, I'll just hit some of the highlights. Did had our three main program series again this year. Good success with those as far as numbers of participants and the numbers of programs that we had. The podcast that we do, we'll rediscover the wins. Our second season had a pretty good increase in listenership to that. It went from 400 and some downloads to almost 1,100 downloads in the last year. So that's grown a little bit, which is nice. You can see our major maintenance and kind of restoration at the three sites, the list there. Really getting quite a bit done, especially with the maintenance person that we have on staff. Just day to day, the Pioneer Museum kind of gets the bulk of his attention just because the sheer size of the site. But we're making good progress in a lot of areas. As far as acquisitions and accessions, you can take a look at acquisitions, backlog items, those kinds of things. Our visitation was up at all three museums year over. Pretty good, not records, but good. Our self-generated revenue was up significantly over the previous fiscal year. I mean, significantly. It was our best year since I've been here as far as self-generated revenue. One caveat to that, this June and July have both been down. This visitation season is not going to be as good. I anticipated that, or we anticipated that, just given the nature of things, inflation and some other things that have taken place. So we're seeing visitation is down a fair amount for June and July. So I would anticipate our year over revenue not being quite as good as it was last year, and our visitation not being quite as good, unless something changes kind of drastically in the next couple of months, which I wouldn't anticipate as it stands right now. But I suspected that going into this budget cycle, so budgeted accordingly as far as what we're doing, generated revenue. Wind River Mountaineer, we continued to do that. The newsletter is doing its thing. Good increase in our social media and our visibility in that regard at all three sites. A lot of that has to do with the program coordinator of each one of the sites has really been able to increase the amount of social media promotion that we do. And you can see all the exhibit installations that we've done at the museum. Some of those are temporary exhibits. Some of those are exhibits working with the two libraries in Lander and Riverton that we do. And that's some more permanent type exhibits, long-term exhibits.
So not pertaining to museums, but I know you were involved in the semi-quincentennial. How did that all go? You guys were, you had kind of a plan you were working with?
Yeah, we worked with the Wind River Visitor Council on the historic tour. I haven't seen statistics from that yet as far as the production. That kind of thing was very smooth. You know, everything worked out like it was supposed to.
Good.
So we'll just wait and see how people responded to it and if people have been participating in it. So.
All right. Any other questions for Director Getz? Well, thank you. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you
for all your hard work over there.
Thanks, Scott.
And we've got treatment court director Sage Goff.
on Mr. Allen's. I feel like today's report is a little lengthy. There's a lot going on that I've been working on within youth services and also treatment courts. So our day reporting center, we're getting ready to start school the week of August 17th. Our direct support staff is currently attending a training for services that we're going to be implementing into our day reporting center. So she's been busy getting that training. Her and I've worked on a schedule of what that's going to look like within the classroom, so that we can start offering some more social skills, some evidence-based journaling practices, getting the kids more involved, and not just sitting in front of a computer all day. So we've been working a lot on that, and by the time school starts, we'll be ready to have that all implemented and moving forward. Specifically within youth services, I do have the service agreements for the city of Riverton and the city of Lander that I was able to also send to Mr. Maxon, and he's reviewed them. The city of Riverton has agreed to fund us $20,000. And then the city of Lander is funding $35,000. And so that will all be allocated to this year's budget within youth services. We'll continue to use that money for program development, some fuel as we're taking participants to and from, or not participants, the juveniles to and from school or to appointments. We're also doing our risk needs screening, training, and case planning. And so those funds will be used for that as well.
Do you want to pause for just a second? We have these agreements in front of us. Commissioners, do you have any questions for Director Goff on those two agreements? And we entertain a motion.
Chairman. Move to approve a service agreement between City of Riverton and Juvenile Justice Service in the amount of $20,000 from July 1st, 2026 through June 30th, 2027.
Second.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion's carried.
Second one, Chairman, is move to approve service agreement between the City of Lander and Juvenile Justice Service in the amount of $35,000 from July 1st, 2026 through June 30th, 2027.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion is carried. All right, go ahead. Sorry,
You're
figured we just get the business done.
Nope, you're good. So within youth services, we've been working in navigating, what can we do to make changes within our program to really benefit the youth? The assistant director, Hattie, and myself have sat down, and some of those changes that we have already implemented or are in the process of implementing is the evidence-based journal books through the Change Company. We have a select few just as we were doing some trial and error to see what those looked like and how receptive those were. And so far they've really helped engage the probation officers more with the youth to recognize what are some of the things that they need, some of the supports. So that has been really good. We're also working on finding new opportunities for family supports and community engagement. And so we're really looking at how do we get that family involvement, building those connections with the community. What does community service look like for these juveniles that's going to be meaningful? and have some impact. And so that's kind of some of the background work that we're doing within the office to make changes moving forward. You'll see the citation report as well. July was a busy month for youth services as there were 35 citations from local law enforcement, both in Riverton and Lander. 18 of those citations were drug and alcohol related. 8 citations were related to property, whether it be criminal entry, property destruction. And then 9 citations were a mixture of traffic, person, and public citations. And so that's kind of a breakdown of what we've seen come through our office and what the probation officers have been working on. Within treatment courts, our adult treatment court, we currently have 12 participants. We've got 2 who are graduating this week. So if you guys are available on Thursday morning at 11, we do hold graduation in Judge Combs's courtroom. So if you're wanting to see what that looks like, you're more than welcome to attend. Currently, our office is also working on 13 proposed clients to build those numbers back up. We've got quite a few right now that are on that tail end of being ready to have their sentences or see the judge for their sentence. And so I anticipate in the next month or so that we'll have more participants entering into our program. One of the things that I also wanted to bring to the commissioner's attention is I was approved for some opioid funding. And within that opioid funding, it is allocated for a new position within treatment courts. So this position can be done a couple different ways due to the allocation of funding. I would propose that the position be a contracted position as we're just beginning the workings of it. As this would be an individual who would go into the jails and conduct ASIs. I know in the past, CAST was doing that, but it was also taking away from our clients who are in the program. So in talking with Tana and Lieutenant Ryman, we had come up with a plan of how to get that position funded so that it not only benefits some of the participants in the program of getting them into treatment, but in a long-term sense, it can help on some of the backlog within the jail and get individuals those court-ordered substance abuse evaluations that for the past year and a half, I would say, has kind of been a struggle to get people into the jail and get those accomplished to help move people into whatever treatment recommendation they have.
Sage, what's the term of the contract, or the grant?
It's 5 years.
5 years.
Yeah. And it will be evaluated every year. But it was a request of a 5-year term.
And just a question, this substance abuse assessment specialist.
Yes.
Is the position we're talking about, and this would be under the grant for 1 year. Is that, are we putting I know it's contracted just for budgetary purposes. What's the expectation?
I believe as we have to review the grant every year, a 1 year is
Okay.
acceptable as
Okay.
well. And the reason I went with the contracted, Mr. Thomas and I had talked about it previously too, is, as it's going and becoming a new position, I also don't want to pay for somebody at the moment that's not going to be busy. I anticipate them to be busy once word gets into the jail that the service is available. And so it may be beneficial for at that 1 year trademark then to look at a budgetary and be like, okay, we have the funds now, it can be a benefited position.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
Sage, on this person, that would be contracted. Will you have oversight of that position?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Anyone wanna craft a motion here?
Chairman. Motion to approve the contracted position of substance use assessment specialist at the rate of $30 per hour.
Second.
Can we add
Well, for
1 year,
1 year for the treatment court.
at least at the end of the budget cycle? Do that budget year.
Yeah, into the budget cycle.
Okay.
Non-benefited position.
And a second, favorable.
Mhm.
Okay, any other discussion? All those in favor say aye. All those opposed? Okay.
Okay, JTC, I have been in contact with, County Attorney Micah Wyatt. We had a very, very brief discussion on, some steps moving forward with the program. I do plan to schedule a dedicated meeting with him. From the time I spoke with him until just last week and then up to today, I had been in contact with some of the other team members of that program, our defense attorney, the judge, things of that. I was informed that the magistrate who previously oversaw the program, is no longer able to oversee it due to his own, scheduling conflicts, things of that nature. So I'm also working on trying to find a presiding judge or magistrate for the program so that we can get the wheels going again. So those are kind of the things that are going in motion with JTC, to get that moving forward.
Chairman.
Yes, Commissioner.
Judge McKee.
I've not yet reached out. It's on my to-do list this week. I've got a list of a couple different individuals, and she's on the list.
Because I thought her name was part of that at one point at sometimes, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not since I've been a part of it, but it's been going for a while,
Yeah.
so.
Any further questions? Or-
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Or leave it running ahead. Do we want, any, commissioners' meeting reports or concerns?
Chairman.
Or, yes,
Got a, email from Winslow on the issue of I think it's a Halbert, located in between E City Road and, or it's on E City Road, located between Fort Washington and E City. In talking with Billy, it was not a county responsibility. And so when Billy had communicated to me that it was not, but Winslow's asking for a letter from the county saying it's not ours, and it's not our responsibility, it's not our property, it's not in our books, so that they can go forward with some funding to, one, I guess, inspect it and then repair it if necessary. I think that's how it's going, but they just need a letter.
Commissioner, this is before my time, but didn't we end up with an agreement on E City Road that we should have that documented somewhere? Seems like that was before my time, but I thought we had, and maybe it was a different road, but you don't remember? You don't remember? We'll look in the, let's look in the archives.
And Chairman, Billy's coming, I guess, yeah, so we can,
Okay.
but I just want to bring it up because Winslow's saying he needs that letter as soon as possible from us.
All right.
Also, Chairman, since I think things are maybe workable now,
I was asking if we could probably plan our monthly meeting with the Intertribal Council.
Do we want to offer some dates?
Quarterly, right? Sure.
We used to,
When we can fit it in.
yeah,
Yeah, it's been a little bit while, so.
Yeah,
But it's probably worthwhile, and with the tribes indicating that they want to join FCAG, it would be a good time to just kind of work back with them. What are you thinking, Commissioner? You thinking August, or you want to shoot for September?
I'd say maybe toward the end of August.
End of August? So maybe I'll offer out, Emma, if you could reach out and offer the week of the 17th. Oh, I got
Or
there.
even the last week.
the last week
Or
would be
the
better.
last week would be better, so
The
24th. We do have that FCAG meeting. It could kind of coincide right before or right after, maybe on the 26th. The
Yeah.
27th is the FCAG meeting.
26 would be good.
Shoot 26th, and then we can kind of touch base with them and government. Yeah, okay. You wanna throw that out there, Emma, to them?
26th.
26th, tentative. Wednesday. See if Larry's in the brisket mood. Noise. Lift spirits.
Yes. Also, Chairman, on our vehicles, did we finally, get that? I mean, in the sense of the cleanliness, but also now getting reports that county vehicles might be going to individuals' private home and sitting at their home. I don't know, but that's just something that came up also. I didn't know if that was something that was noted. But the first part of it was the issue of people cleaning their messes up.
And I could probably answer if anybody's complained about the vehicles. I know I drove one to Shawnee for voter registration. It was clean, when I drove it, so. Pardon me, so far. Not recently had that problem. Driving to homes, there are certain ones in the county that are allowed to do that. Law enforcement, emergency management, coroner. There's certain one of those that can do that. And then the road department ones are allowed to do that, but they're charged $3 a day IRS taxable because it's a fringe. And so if they do take those, they're charged every day for that.
Good.
On there, and I don't know that vehicle maintenance is taking theirs, but theirs is the same, and I think those are the only ones that are allowed to take them home, so if they are, I haven't had a report. Looking at Emma, she must not have had a report, we've had a conversation. I think the other thing that maybe came up is, that policy should not only be for pool vehicles, and I'm not sure exactly what we had in that, and I think we were kind of done with that one, but we were just gonna start putting it in the program of looking like the rest of them, but maybe we could look at that and just make sure that that is for everyone who has a county vehicle. Because we don't get to see those other ones. For example, there was one the other day that I saw that was doing stuff they shouldn't be doing in their vehicle, and so they're not on the list. I mean, necessarily, they might be, but we should put that and send it out to everybody who has a vehicle.
Chairman, and I think Julie had stated this before, if it's county that has a unified issue, it's a county, meaning we shouldn't bring them in a sense of saying, well, that's their department or this is their department. It's a whole county across the board, meaning our carpool should be all county vehicles, not just. I mean, I heard you say that one time in the sense that some things we're getting to the point where countywide, it's not seen as a unified effort of county. We're starting to say, well, that's the sheriff's department, or that's health department, or this is this department, but it can't be that way. If it's a county property, it's county, and it's not anybody else's. So they have to
follow the same guidelines.
Right, and we'll definitely take a look at that, make sure that that's included and send those. When we send these out, they go to everybody, but make sure that they read them would be the
Yep.
next part of that. I think the only other person that we could probably reach out to that may ever know if they're clean or not is vehicle maintenance. If they're not coming through the pool, we only can control the pool vehicles, knowing if they're clean or not. So those that who are assigned to other departments, vehicle maintenance eventually, because, you know, they do oil changes and maybe they should just do a quick inspection and make sure it looks like it's clean and nobody's smoking in it and all those good things that are on that list. And maybe they could report back to this board if they're struggling with that. I haven't had anybody from vehicle maintenance go, oh my gosh, but that doesn't mean that it isn't happening, so. We could certainly work with Jared and his staff, see if we can make sure that those look good.
Okay. All right, any other commissioner meetings and concerns? None for me. All right, well, let's take a break then
That's good.
until 10:30.
Good.
half the show.
I can get you started.
Okay. Oh, back.
Back smoke signals for Steve.
You're so quiet with that. I was supposed
No,
Billy.
we're looking for Steve.
Bill. Good, yes, good, great.
Nathan, when we do talk to, Billy about, like, talked about earlier, could you sit down there? Can I, it's kind of confusing stuff.
Yeah, I think honestly, I think Steve has the most
Yeah,
knowledge about the roads, their status.
maybe we'll bring it up and.
Okay, let's start talking about the nuisance resolution.
Okay. So we brought this before you back, I think it was November, maybe December. Steve and I worked on a draft nuisance policy. For a couple of reasons. I know that Billy's had a lot of issues with people in the right of way, causing problems, putting building structures, leaving vehicles. So that's how this started.
Right.
And then we've had other issues come up. Gardens North was one of them.
Right.
I know that planning's had issues with people in unpermitted septic systems. There was a guy with an open pit, just dumping sewage in there, and it was a real challenge for us to come up with ways to deal with it. I think in that case, they ended up contacting the property owner. They had the water shut off. But so the goal here was to cover all of these things. Gives the county some power to do something about it. So the legislature has empowered counties to deal with nuisances. But in order to do that, the county has to have a policy.
Okay.
So that's what this does. And so it follows the statute. And we can get into each one of these things. What we put down is what constitutes a nuisance. What the procedure is, planning director issues a notice to abate, gives them time to fix it. If they don't, it comes to this board. We hold a hearing. The parties notified, they can come in and, you take evidence. And if you decide that a nuisance exists, you issue an order telling them what to do and how long they have to fix it. Then we file that order with the district court. They can go to district court and file an objection. So then that starts proceeding. But if they don't object, then it's, your order becomes enforced. And then after, the deadline elapses, they have, it's $100 per day penalty for not fixing it. So that's the procedure. But what we put in this policy is constituting a nuisance would be conducting business in a county right of way, placing items in the county right of way, obstructing access to a county right of way without permit, using the right of way for installation of utilities without permit, cutting the surface of the right of way without permit. And then some of these other things we've borrowed from other counties. So one is the outside accumulation of debris, garbage, waste, scrap, or junk. Gardens North prompted this one. Keeping any manufactured home that is vacant or in need of extensive repair and poses an unreasonable danger to public health, safety, welfare, or the environment. A home shall be considered vacant when it's not been occupied for at least 120 days if it's any of the following criteria. One, provides a location for loitering, vagrancy, unauthorized entry, or other criminal activity. Has been boarded for 30 days, has utilities disconnected or not used. So the key thing here is that for it to be a nuisance, it has to, number one, be vacant. So, but also has to pose an unreasonable danger, public health, safety, welfare of the environment. So someone can have an old trailer sitting out on their property, and as long as, things aren't happening there with it, then it wouldn't necessarily be considered a nuisance. So then there's just some of these other catch-all ones that, like, so allowing discharge of toxic or noxious materials. Causing or allowing the contamination of the well cisterns or lake groundwater. Or other body water by sewage, waste, or other materials or substances. Causing or allowing the effluent to be accessible, septic tank, drain field, or sewage system to discharge on the surface. So that's happened. Accumulations of manure from domestic animals, fowl that are handled, stored, disposed of in a manner that creates a health hazard. Accumulations of decayed animals, trash, rubbish, foliage, rotting lumber. Packing material, scrap metal, or any substance in which flies, mosquitoes, disease carrying insects, rats, or the vermin can breed, live, nest, or seek shelter. Dead animals are, under the statute, should be disposed of by a landowner in a different way, and there's a remedy for that in the statute, so. If people are leaving dead animals, our office can do something about it. Any condition or situation which renders a structure any part of their unsanitary, unhealthy, or unfit human habitation. So we had a house in Riverton that fit this. That was their problem, but it potentially could be ours. And there were people defecating in the yard.
It was bad.
When they were squatting in this house.
Yes.
We had no power to do anything about it. The city wanted us to, but. Then failure to comply with any law or rule regarding sanitation and health. Certain water, wells, waste disposal.
So Nathan, some of the cities have the power to set ordinances,
Oh,
to address that within the city limits.
Oh, absolutely.
We don't want to
Yeah.
be in there,
Right.
Yeah,
That's what we do.
but we want to be in the county non-incorporated areas.
right.
Okay, do we say that?
No, but I think it's understood that that's where our jurisdiction lies. We certainly could put something.
Right.
Yeah, nope.
So commissioners, Steve Bauman, County Planning. Yesterday, I had an opportunity to, Commissioner Jones stopped in my office to, just poke me in the eye, which is what I need to have done every once in a while. Anyway, one of the questions, that came up, I mentioned that some of these nuisances were pretty broad in their description.
Mhm.
And I also mentioned that. This process began a really long time ago, hell, I think 4 years ago.
Yeah, it's
We've
been a
been,
while.
well, we've been talking about it, and at a meeting, I'm guessing 6 months ago, this group of prohibitions was brought forth. I think the intent was to hopefully encourage some discussion, not, I guess none of us really understood to what extent we were necessarily should be involved in forwarding that discussion. So that brings us back to where we are today. Really, we need to get something done for the roads department because we have
Right.
real serious hazard within the right of way and no means of solving it. There are, like I pointed out to Commissioner Jones, there are some of these that are really broadly stated and maybe need to have a little bit of discussion or thought on your commissioner's part so that we don't get sideways or overly or step beyond what maybe the general public is wanting to have on this too, because the last thing I think we want to do is have a nuisance set of regulations that impugn in areas where people have not customarily had issues. And if we don't narrow the scope, my concern would be that we're gonna have members of the general public are gonna come in and one, are either gonna petition their neighbor as a nuisance for whatever the purpose may be, because they're gonna read this and say, well, that guy's got an old mobile home in his backyard. And the reality is, we've got mobile homes all over the
Everywhere.
county that are being used as chicken coops or shelters for animals or places for for storage.
Right.
They could in fact meet these requirements, and then there'd have to be a broader discussion on why is this guy getting impugned and that guy's not, or how does that process work? So I think there are some of these that really may require a lot more conversation, and some of them may be with other departments. Tara's department is one, and I think because of all these mobile homes that are out there that are being taxed as non-residential structures for purpose of storage or some other thing, I don't think we want them to be declared businesses. So, or even have the opportunity to be declared businesses. There are other things, however, that
That
certainly
need it.
do.
But may I? Well, I somewhat disagree. So I think the definition of, at least regarding the mobile homes, is there has to be an unreasonable danger. And keep in mind, for any of this to happen, it comes before this board to make a decision of whether or not to do something about it. So ultimately, it's your decision. So I don't think any de minimis trailer houses that are keeping livestock are gonna make it up the chain to you and where it becomes an issue, so.
I also don't think the planning chairman, our planning director should be the involved person here. I think or someone in violence position may be a better focus for that, or maybe it's just each one of these is more directly related to a specific department. So the road stuff, maybe that's Billy's deal. And maybe if it's a mobile home that has cat feces up to your eyeballs in it, that's maybe public health.
Placement.
So that each one of the various department heads has the ability to make that petition to the county commissioners, or suggest that it be declared a nuisance rather than just, and I'm trying, I don't have any problem with it being me, but 6 months from now, I'm not gonna be me, and so it's gonna be somebody else, and they may not be interested in that. So or have the desire. So I think it might be a more valid to contemplate who that person should be, and maybe allow some a little bit more discretion on where that flows through the various departments.
So a couple things. I'm gonna sound like a social warrior here for a second. Definition of a mobile home and distinctly classifying them, putting them into a group versus just a structure. I think that opens a door and draws a picture that we might not necessarily want. So just some thought on that. On number 11, accumulations of manure from domestic animals. It creates a health hazard. Was on solid waste. And there was quite a discussion about the Du Bois landfill that used to accept manure, and now that can't be put in construction demolition waste. And so people, they don't have a place to go that they get, which was kind of odd to me. I've got horses, I put it out in the pasture. I mean, I'm like, but apparently there are some properties that are collecting piles of this. I don't know if it's a health hazard, but anyway, it's kind of raised a question. It seems like there might be, I like your suggestion that maybe we group this under things that might be related to solid waste, might be related to right of way, might be related to public health. They have, the statutes, they have statutes that they can authorize. And then this basically is a funnel to collect whatever policies that we have in place or activities that we have in place in those two departments to filter it to this. So they have an avenue to go through. And then we could get a little less specific in my mind. We could be very general and And if it's getting in the way of roads doing their job, if it's becoming a public nuisance under the, then it should go through public health, and if there is a solid waste issue or something like that, it seems like we could make this a funnel and a filter and get it less specific. I don't know, maybe I'm overcomplicating it, but I kind of like that idea. Because at the end of the day, who's gonna do all this? Who's gonna take, to be the champion of nuisance properties? And I don't think there is one. I think there's avenues that we already have constructed that we can have them look at this policy and see how they fit into it and see if we can craft just thought.
So I think part of the problem is there aren't any avenues, and that's what prompted this in the first place, is there is no avenue for Billy to enforce what's in the county right away.
No tea.
So well, only, and this was, I had a long discussion with Jody when she was the attorney, and there is nothing in statute, zero, that gives him or the roads department the ability to do anything. So they can't confiscate gravel that was put in there to build an illegal driveway. They can't even remove the illegal driveway.
Okay,
Then a threatening letter.
I'm kind of struggling here. You're saying we might have to tweak this, might have to tweak that.
Yep.
Yeah.
You have disagreements here that might be. What's the recommendation here, and what do you need from us?
Well, Mr. Chair, so this, last time we talked about this, you recommended I circulate this to public health, the sheriff.
Okay.
The assessor. I did that.
Okay.
Got no feedback. Yeah, a lot of time crafting this based on the statutory framework.
Yeah.
So statute requires that you reasonably define what nuisance is so people have a heads up.
Right.
Instead of just anything that constitutes an unreasonable danger, people don't have any idea.
Yeah.
And then they're mad, like, well, we had no idea. I get the concern about governmental overreach here.
Me.
And some of these things can be tweaked or done away with, and I liked your suggestion about the mobile home and call it a vacant building or a structure.
Structure.
But I think, as I said before, at the end of the day, the decision whether or not to take this to the next level and declare a nuisance and take action is on the commission. What we've seen is that we have, since I've been here, 5 or 6 different incidents where it's like one thing or another where we have no authority to do anything about it. So the attempt here is to try to capture what possibly things could happen in the future and have an ability to take action quicker. Because in all those cases, our hands are tied.
So one of the things that comes to mind is, and it seems like we need to build a process around this. For instance, step one, we've identified a right-of-way issue. They get sent to Boston. You're out of bounds. Need a response within X amount of days. And then, do you know what I mean? We have a process so it's not willy-nilly. And like you say, they may not know they're out of compliance, and then they get the policy so it seems like we need to build a little bit of a process around it. It doesn't have to be over cumbersome, but gives a pathway for Billy and for public health as those issues come up and say, this is the avenue you go. This is for step 1, step 2, and then you come to the commission.
So we got that written into
Okay.
the document that we would propose for bills. We already have those regulations drafted incorporating this. So that's done. So there's a process specifically for transportation already
Yeah, I guess
in the regulation. The real issue here is that none of the other departments have those regulations in place. So they're
okay. Yeah, I guess
we would have to add
Yeah.
or go to each of them and develop their own set of regulations for how to enforce this and what the policy or
Right.
policies and what the procedures are for how we implement
And
it.
I think that's way too cumbersome. I think maybe a way to streamline this at the beginning is so a various department or even someone brings a complaint to this board, route the complaint to the appropriate department. They do an initial investigation, and if they find that there's a problem based on what's in this policy, they issue that notice. And then if they don't comply, it comes back to this board. I think having the health department with a separate set of regulations and guidelines and things that they look at creates two separate sets of things, and theirs has no authority. Well, I mean, ultimately, the county's granted authority to declare nuisances.
Okay, I'm gonna truncate here a little bit. We're running into a time. We need you guys to resolve what it is you think that you can come to an agreement on. Include Billy, include public health, so they have, that this becomes the avenue for people to act. So that the county can act, and I think that's reasonable, but you gotta come back with a recommendation. Feels like right now here's a pile of soup. Why don't you pick out the meat for us? And so, if you guys could do that, then we could act on something, but I don't know what we would act on based on what I've heard.
So if you want some sort of a policy drafted for how to implement this as well, then.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
And there's some other issues I wanna bring up too, through the planning.
Mr. Chairman.
I'll talk to you about it.
Question for Christmas. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. You've got two heads here. I wanted to ask them real quick. Dead animal, you brought that up. Okay. I live right next to the Hampton Inn. Okay. If I leave a dead animal out there for very long, I don't think the neighbors are gonna like it very well. So what is the policy? Can I dig a hole and put it on top of the water level? Is it 3 foot? Well, I got subsurface water at 3 foot. You dig 3 foot, you're gonna have subsurface water. So what's your recommendation to the landowner there?
So there's very specific statutes about dealing with dead animals. So that would really be covered by this. So if I recall correctly, you can't leave an animal within certain number of feet of an irrigation ditch. So
I think it's a half a mile from a resident.
So that's not covered by this policy.
no, because there's state statutes that already.
Any other questions?
It's a nuisance, yeah.
Yep. Yep. Commissioner.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Well, we got him here. I just want to bring that one question I have.
Okay.
Billy, Winslow keeps asking for a letter. And since all three of you here, it's on that culvert between Fort Wasatch and Efity. In a sense, he's saying, do we have ownership on it in the sense of, do we inspect it in the sense of inspection, or in that, he needs a letter saying that we don't from us, from the county. So now that all three of you here, everybody seems to be confused on that because nobody knows.
It's not a county road. So the county doesn't have any ownership
On
on
Efity,
that,
on
on that
Efity.
right away.
We
No,
have-
not in that
We
area.
have some sort of document that we can send them, says that's not,
We don't have it, it's declared as a county road.
Okay.
So-
Hasn't been.
it's not on the list.
So does the letter, so does the letter need to come from us, or could you send it, Billy? Because he needs the letter. It Winslow does.
He doesn't need a letter to say that nothing exists.
Well, the thing is
It's like, what you're worried about isn't a problem. Right?
for some reason, it's documented that it is, the state has it Chairman, the state has it documented that it's a county road or county, the culvert is owned by the county.
And Mr. Chairman and I talked to Winslow and somebody else with the tribal transportation, and I said the best avenue is either white up. They're the ones that has it listed as county road, we don't.
Okay, can you send Winslow an email to that effect, a documented copy,
I have it,
Commissioner, the
I have.
Commissioner?
and I had the other guy on
I
Friday.
could do it.
Okay,
Yeah,
Okay.
that's, okay, you guys
We'll
clear?
work on it.
Okay, thank you. All right,
We need to powwow.
Transportation, Billy Meeks.
Morning, Commissioners, here to get approval to hire an employee, had another one leave, so. They're chasing money, so.
So what's the position in the summer?
Anything from level 1 at 45,000 starting to level 3 at 60,000 a year. Depending on experience.
And that's within your budget.
Yes.
Okay. Any questions? Anybody want to make a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion that we replace, or rehire, the position for 45,000, 50,000 for title, level 1 through 3 operator.
Yep, operator slash truck driver.
We have a second.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, that is? Yep. Okay,
Call them in the night. Call them and now call them.
okay,
We're both calling.
okay, great. Thank you. Right, public health. If you could pronounce your last name, that would be.
Yeah, Arredondo.
Arizona. A great name. Okay. We have, one thing to talk about. This, grant contract. Have a little bit of discussion maybe, but other than that, is that the sole
The sole
purpose
purpose
of you
of
being here?
me seeing you guys today is to one, Tracy Phelps has left the public health response coordinator position. So I'm asking to reopen her position and along with the grant that needs renewed for the year.
Any questions for Nicole? I would just say. And you know, if I can suggest, maybe talk to Mylan a little bit, I think the level of communication that we get from Mylan. And, you know, emergency response and the other things that he's involved in. I think it would be great if we can achieve that on the public health side of preparedness, because it has been, it's been a challenge for us to really understand. You know, what that position does and what the visibility and transparency are, all the favorite words that we like to use, so.
I wholeheartedly agree.
Okay,
I think we're very much on the same page
Okay.
with that. We also have some new management coming in for the state side. Cheryl Rowe, who has managed the grant for years and years and years, resigned in June. So they're replacing her. And the goal is to really recenter the grant and get it back to a public health mission
yeah,
and kind of really separate the difference between public health response coordinator and emergency management. So that's the state's goal going forward. That's my goal going forward. I have really high hopes for this position because I've been working with a couple people from other counties that have been helping me fill in. Tracy's been absent and they're doing things that I didn't know the position was able to do. So I'm hoping that with some fresh blood in the position, we'll be able to incorporate what other counties are doing and make it a really fulfilling position.
yeah, it's been a few years, but, I know when we went through COVID, our disaster response for health was really fuzzy. And it was like, why would we update that after what we just went through?
Right.
And maybe we did, but I'm not sure I have a broad understanding of it. So I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, and going forward, there will be much more communication because I want to actually learn what the position is for and all about
What it can
and what the capabilities are able to do.
And so is this it's contracted? It's hourly, is it benefit?
It is benefited.
Oh, it is full-time benefit, yeah.
Yep, full-time benefits, all paid through the grant.
Okay,
And the state, they say that their suggestion is 25 to 28 an hour, depending on experience for starting for that.
okay, any other questions, concerns on, from the commissioners? We have two things. We have the grant contract we need to deal with, and then we have a request to hire or rehire. What do you want to do?
Chairman, motion to approve a hiring of a full-time benefited position of public health response coordinator under Fremont County Public Health at an hourly rate of $25 to $28 an hour. Position is budgeted.
Second.
Second, Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye. All those opposed? Hey, motion's carried. What are we gonna do in the other one, guys? Since we just approved the position, but not the contract.
If you want me
Excuse me,
You had a motion on that and you tabled it?
did we have it?
Yes.
to.
Who was holding it?
Thank you. The memory's faded. No, nothing like it used to be.
Again, Chairman, move to approve grant contract number 257329 with Wyoming Department of Health, Public Health Division in the amount of $112,000 for public health emergency preparedness and response capabilities.
Any other discussion?
No.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed. Motion's carried. Thank you, Commissioner. No.
Right. You guys are very nice.
All right. I think we're gonna talk about capital revolving.
Oh, yippee.
Who's bringing the capital revolving? Ah, okay.
I can do it.
Well, my packet, okay, I can do it. So everybody got the capital revolving packet. With an estimated, um, expenditure of $1,203,866. I don't know. The 6 or 8. So, Jim brought up an interesting idea. Do we want to specifically say what we allocated? I don't think we do because we're gonna have to go get quotes and I don't want to necessarily induce those prices that might match this directly, but anyway, everybody saw these. We've got transportation. We have a Chevy Crew, 2 Chevy Crews, 3 Chevy Crews, for 5 of them to add to the fleet. One of them is to replace a 2012 Ford F-250. The sheriff and the undersheriff need their vehicles replaced with Chevy Crew cabs. Assessor needs the Eagle View flyover. And that's part of our GIS and all of our other stuff that we do and provide for the public. We have PC replacements estimated in the 52,120 range. The sheriff needs video evidence kit, so this is stuff that goes on their vests that we're upgrading. 37 tasers and access for the sheriff, and then computers again for the sheriff with I don't know, we have a quote yet, we don't have a number, but I think a holding place for carpet in the Landers Circuit Court. We had some questions last time. I think they produced a quote and we're asking that our buildings department do the quote so we get it and then we're gonna bring it back in, but those are the items on here. There's been questions on any of the items or overall.
So I do want to mention that the flyover for Eagle View, we had put not funded out of here specifically, although the 2 commissioners on that committee with the rest of us agreed that probably, if I'm speaking out of turn, make sure you say something that they thought it was probably a good idea, but maybe not out of this budget. They mentioned putting it in the assessor's budget. I know Jim and I are thinking, I hate to see any kind of department budget that's just like this, that flows, nobody knows why, it's so up and down, so up and down. So I don't know if there's somewhere else that we can put the 192. Jim had mentioned maybe another a 1690 account that you are all in charge of, where you where we put it aside. It's not really her cost, it's a county cost. And then she could start working on getting people. I think the big question was who she could get to buy in and help pay for this over the long term. But I think if you're interested in these flyovers, we could figure out where the money comes later, but maybe not, maybe a different motion than this, but they do need to know to let people view if we're gonna do it or not. But right now, it's not in here, but if you wanna throw it in here, you could do it that way too. So,
It's not in the total,
no.
but it's in the
doesn't-
list.
Yeah, it's at the, mine is at the bottom, says isn't funded. That's what I sent out to everybody.
That doesn't. But something said, it just says not funded in a cell, so I don't.
Yeah, well, it's just, and then assessors underneath, but not funded, sorry. Or mine is,
That didn't show up.
oh, okay.
Yeah, that's.
Oh, you just forgot to take off.
Um,
Oh, send that out.
So we got work to do on that, we would take that one out.
But
Any,
yeah, but if there's any questions about any of the others, I know two large amount of fleet stuff that we have are here. Billy and the undersheriff are here, just are here. And they have quite a few things. If you guys have any questions, that we did have 2 meetings on this.
Yeah.
But certainly you could ask questions if you spoke.
commissioners? Questions on any of the items?
Mr. Chairman, so would you say that everything that's here is in budget? I haven't looked at it myself very deeply, but
Commissioner,
everything that they're recommending here,
they're not in the expense budgets.
okay,
They would be in the capital revolving budget.
okay,
Okay, so this is an allocation of capital that we have. That's where it would come from. It would not it would not go through the departments. Now, take
Only
the
for rental payments would.
the rental payments for, it. So remember, it works like you buy a truck and then we pay for it and then we give you a rental payment that goes and hits your expense budget.
okay.
So those are included in those budgets, so.
I haven't included because we
Okay.
hadn't done the capital revolving. However,
Okay,
by the time they actually get, like, especially like a sheriff's vehicle, by the time you get them, get all the stuff on them, it's probably halfway through the year. So we don't, I mean, we'll just see how how their budgets are doing by the end of the year, see if we need to do, you know me, I don't give anybody money unless they absolutely need it, but we'll see if they can absorb it for a while, so. Depending on when we get them done.
does that help, Commissioner? Okay. Other questions? Any questions on the items themselves?
Hmm.
All right.
Mr. Chairman, I maybe would like to have Under Sheriff Hutchison talk a little bit about the 2 large ticket items, because I know that there are a couple of options there. Although we thought we should put them through the capital revolving. Do you want to talk about them a little bit?
This is the video and the tasers.
Yeah, so it's large
So
ticket
speak to
items. I
that.
think we should probably have you come talk about them.
Come on now. Do a little summary, I think, like you did at the capital revolving committee, just a little summary of what these items are and you know, the need and all the above.
Okay, Mr. Chairman.
And keep it short. I'm just kidding. Just so you get wound up there.
So the largest ticket item, I guess, is the camera kits. So these would be a replacement for existing dash cams, patrol cams that are mounted in all the vehicles, with the addition of body cams that would sync with those vehicle mounted cameras. Right now, we have just a handful of body cams. They're not issued to every deputy right now. We just don't have them. So it would be the addition of body cams for every deputy, every patrol deputy, and the replacement of the patrol cams, so the dash cams in all of the vehicles. We have applied for a grant through the DOJ for these funds, but we won't find out if we were successful in that grant. Hopefully later this month. So I don't know how that would work. If we are successful in the grant, then I don't think we plan to make the purchase until after we find out one way or the other on the grant. So maybe, I don't know what that does to the capital revolving account. If we approve something now, but then we get the grant and it's not needed, does that mess things up? But
I think we just throw a party.
Yeah.
It is,
It's a full
it
amount.
is a full amount, yeah.
So it's just,
I think it just.
it just comes off the list.
Pardon me?
It just comes off the list. I
Right,
mean, if
just
the
comes off the list.
commissioners are interested in that concept, I just think they
I-
are approving a concept.
Commissioners, like that idea, wait for the grant?
Yeah,
That'd be
we can, do it, or like a pending or something of that nature,
Okay.
whatever.
Okay.
The tasers, uh, are. The tasers we currently have scheduled for end of life by the company. They are obsoleting them, within the next year. The tasers will still work, they'll still function, but they will not be supported, and the download capabilities is going to go away. They won't support them in the back end, the software where we download all of the data for any time a taser is used or turned on or deployed. Is no longer going to be supported, and Axon, the company, has designated 5 years as the useful life of a taser. So there's nothing wrong with them. They are just not going to support them anymore, and we are using them at our own risk if we continue to use them beyond that 5 years when they're no longer supported. So that's the reason for the request for the tasers. So
Questions on tasers?
They're just not compatible anymore, data compatible. Is that how that plays out?
they want us to buy new ones, so they
Sure
are
they do.
end of lifing them.
You know, the county's
Planned
got.
obsolescence.
Planned obsolescence, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, okay. All right, any other questions? Okay. All right, so, we need some sort of motion to approve the list as is for the items on it, conditional on the body cams, remove the Eagle View. I need some sort of motion.
So moved.
Okay. Second is Emma will sort it out. Yeah. Do we have a second? Second, okay. Any more discussion?
Chairman.
Yes.
And then what about the carpet? We don't worry about that? Or does that come later?
The carpet's on.
I think we have to get a quote
Right.
from our building maintenance folks.
Mr. Chairman, because of our procurement policy that we passed, it's more difficult now. So we have to approve the concept and the, suggested prices here, but they may have to go out and update their bids. Now that they are, anything over $50,000 is a little bit more, something that they have to see if there's more than one competitor for them, so. So we just thought, that's why we thought no specific amounts, if you like the concept and the concept of how much that is. Again, the 467 could be a zero if they get their grant. So, but if you like the concept of what they're doing, I think we approved the list, and then we just, worst case scenario is you don't pay for the 461, or 7, which is a huge amount on the cap revolving, but does not appear to make the treasurer worry that we don't have the money for it. I think our budget can sustain the list we have.
Okay, any other discussion on the motion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the motion's carried.
And Mr. Chairman, that was without the Eagle View or with it?
Right, without,
Okay, further discussion on Eagle View, so I can let them know to let the vendor know what you're thinking on that one.
did you, have any updates from, the clerk? It's on,
Dates from the clerk.
county clerk report question.
Oh, no, I just wondered about
Okay.
the Eagle View for the assessor,
Yeah,
because they are
okay.
waiting for the,
Yeah, I've moved on.
oh.
Sorry.
Apparently you don't want to do anything, or are they letting the vendor know, no, we are not doing it?
They were gonna go through a process that they would come back to us. That would be my understanding, because we
Yeah.
took it off the list.
Well,
Right,
Because
I thought
The recommendation
that
from-
our vote was that we approve for them to do it, just not through the cap revolving and to put it in her budget.
that's a different process. I don't know how we do that in the same motion. And this is about
Okay.
capital revolving, right?
Okay, do you need this to be on next week's agenda?
Sounds good to me.
Okay.
Okay.
Chairman. Could you remind the sheriff about the dispatch?
Yes, I'll send an email now that my email is for sure going places, so. Good. We'll do that.
Okay. So, did you want to provide any updates, Julie, for the agenda? It's okay if you don't.
No.
Okay. All right, any other concerns? Items for the good of the order?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
A couple months ago, I think Ron, maybe lost track of this. We had, asked about getting a bid possibly for the custodial for the building work instead of having our custodial do it differently because there's just not enough people and too much stuff to do. So I think it would be more prudent to do something of that nature than it is and continue to what we're doing now.
As Commissioner, I had gotten that quote on the bathrooms and update, so that's kind of in your court. If you're not gonna recommend it, we do anything, I think there's still some concerns about the maintenance and housekeeping around the bathrooms especially.
Yeah, I think what we're probably gonna find is that our maintenance people are running pretty thin. So we're gonna need somebody that maybe to just do a contract, just do a contract,
So can you evaluate that quote and then come back with some recommendations on how to address that?
yeah, I can get with John and,
You got the
Okay.
quote,
oh, he does.
you do.
You do.
I have, you gave me that one.
Yeah,
That's something I
yeah.
didn't.
Okay. All right, so
Do we need more than one quote, do you think? There?
if you can find it,
If
If
we
you can find
it's really hard. So,
Okay.
yeah. So it's, but
Maybe the
but-
individual that wants to take a crack at it, well, they need possibly some insurance or something, I don't know.
I think they had some information to that regard, but we did, I can't remember what it was.
Okay.
Okay, anything else for the good of the order?
No.
Recap.
I will work with Chris Rod to get him scheduled for the discussion regarding public comment.
Could you get with Larry on that? So how he wants to fit that in, yeah, okay.
I'll work with Julie with the NACO survey and see what we wanna do with that. I'll reach out to Mike Hutchinson and Kevin Raymond to get them scheduled for August 25th. I'll reach out to the WRITC for August 26th. Other than EPCAG and roads, are there any other topics you wanna discuss with them? Usually.
Well, I mean, I think I'm big part and parcel with the FCAG conversation, but certainly the ambulance proposal that they've been looking at, what is.
And then I will get the eco view and discussion on the agenda.
Okay.
That's it.
All right,
Move to adjourn.
second. Any discussion?
None.
You don't want to think about it?
No.
All those in favor say aye. All those opposed? Thank you, everybody.